Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2026 BMW M2. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this sports car for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This M2 is finished off in Alpine White and the MSRP is just over $82,000. This is powered by the 3-liter twin-turbo inline 6. Paired to the 8-speed automatic, this pumps out 473 horsepower, 443 pound-feet of torque. It's rear-wheel drive, weighs in just shy of 3,800 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds with a top speed up to 177 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 13.7 gallons, and you'll expect to see 16 miles per gallon in the city and 23 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 108.1 inches. Its overall length is 180.3. It has a width of 74.3, a height of 55.2, and its factory ground clearance is 4.8 inches. However, this particular model is slightly lowered, and I will go over that in just a second. So with the exterior styling for this particular M2, this also has the MP front attachment in carbon fiber, which is really neat to see. You'll notice the large carbon fiber accents on both sides and the entire lower section of that front bumper. Now this also retains the kidney grille finished off in gloss black along with the M2 badge. There's also some sensors in the lower section, lots of squared off designs for this front end, and a dark housing for the LEDs. You'll notice two massive inlets right in the middle there, and then just a great front end design overall. You'll also notice some bulges coming down the hood and the lines on the outsides there to give it an aggressive look. Now as we work our way to the side, this model also has a staggered setup for the wheels. They're 19 inches up front, 20 inches in the rear. You'll notice the red M Sport brakes, and this model also has the M Performance Sport tuned suspension. So it is adjustable and it does lower the vehicle as well. So it gives it a great stance, and we'll see what this is like once we get it out on the road. I'm sure it's going to increase the handling for this sports car. Now this also has power folding side mirrors, which have the turn signal, and then this also has the optional carbon fiber roof, which gives it a great look. You'll notice gloss black for all the window trim, and then with the M2, it has almost a factory wide body design to it, especially with the lower side skirt there and the rear fender arches. I think it gives it a fantastic look. Now in back, this has a small trunk-mounted spoiler. There's a dark housing for all the LEDs, backup camera, and then the quad-tip dual exhaust. This does have remote start, being the automatic, so let's take a listen. And then you can also triple tap on the lock button to shut that off as well. And you'll notice more gloss black surrounding the exhaust tips. Now you can use the control on the key fob or the one underneath to gain access to the cargo space, where for this sports car, there's a good bit of space. There's no storage under the floor. You do get this storage bin on the left side, and then you can also fold down the back seats. So if you need even more space, you can do that. There's also some tie-down hooks too. So you definitely have a good amount of space depending on the items that you need to place in this. Now this also has the flush mounted design for the door handles. And then for the interior on this model, you'll notice some red accents. There's also this neat trim accent. There's memory seating adjustments, window controls, which are power folding as I mentioned. There's a trunk release and then more storage down below. And then you'll notice this model has the red accents for the seats. These are the standard sport bucket seats. They are automatic with a few manual adjustments. So there's the leg support, and then there's also this release right here in order to gain access to the back seats. So once you adjust the backrest, the seat will work its way forwards from there, which is a nice touch. And you'll notice too the BMW colors on the seatbelt there. Now this is a 4-seater, so as I hop into the back, legroom is going to vary. You can adjust the seats, of course, as needed. You do have vents, a little bit of storage in between the seats. And then at 5'10", I am touching the headliner. So if you're smaller than me, it's going to be more comfortable. You might be able to fit a car seat back here, or smaller kids. I could go on a very short trip if I needed to. So it is functional at least to have them if and when you need to. Now you can also fold these pretty much flat, and you have a large opening into the back there. And then you can also fold down this middle seat individually, which is nice. And then you have large cargo windows there, or your back seat windows. So that gives you a lot more visibility, small pillar in the back, which is great. And then as we hop in, this has a leather steering wheel with the flat bottom design to it. There's more carbon fiber accents. It's even on the massive paddle shifters. But let's start this back up and take a listen to how this sounds. And coming back to the digital gauge cluster, you'll see on the left side, there's miles per hour and fuel. On the right side, there's the tach and engine temperature. Now you can go through some more info using this button right in the middle, where there's also volume tuning, Bluetooth, and voice commands. There's also a rotary dial in the middle. So once you push on that control, now you can use the rotary dial to go through the rest of this information. So you have a good bit that you can scroll through, just depending on the vitals that you would like to see, and have those shown in full screen there. You can also go over to the head-up display and go through a few different settings, again, just depending on what you would like to see while you are driving. Now there's also M1 and M2, so those are shortcuts for the driving modes, and then there's cruise control and distance pacing on the left side. There's headlight adjustments, a dimmer switch, one air vent, Harman Kardon for the audio, and then with the infotainment system, the lower section is always going to be fixed, which makes it easy to get into this information. And then there's also shortcuts down below. So there's the rotary dial, and then you have all the shortcuts above that, so you don't have to use it as a touch screen. So this has an M-Drift analyzer, so you can go through all that information. You can get into your lap timer, and then normal information like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can get into all of your lighting adjustments. You have different displays, your seat comfort. There's quite a lot that you can scroll through here. Now for the home screen, you have all of these widgets here, which are configurable. So just depending on what you'd like to go through and have quick access to. You can get into all the climates along with navigation and music. And then this also has heated seats, a heated steering wheel, and then temperature adjustments on both sides. There's also the optional carbon fiber trim accent underneath that. More lighting with vents. There's volume tuning, hazards, and defrosters, and then wireless charging, auxiliaries, and cup holders. You can hide those away with more carbon fiber, and then this is how you put it into reverse. Now this has the backup camera and then sensors on that right side. Then you can go into drive or sport mode, which allows you to use the paddle shifters, or you can shift here. And then on the back side, there's park and the adjustments for the transmission. So you can decide how quick or slow you would like that to react. There's traction control, parking sensors, engine start stop. And then when you push on M mode, you can go from road to sport and track. And this is going to change not only the gauge cluster, but the head-up display too. So you'll have a very large tach along with miles per hour, and you can still go through information on this left side. So just depending on what you would like to see, you can pull up some of the performance driving information and then have your performance info on that right side. You can also get into setup, and this is how you can configure M1 and M2. So you can go between efficient and sport plus and set all of these up depending on how you want the vehicle to react. So you could have your daily driving for M1 and then some performance driving for M2. There's also an exhaust note, auto hold, and the e-brake. There's an auxiliary with storage, a locking glove box with a good bit of space, and then garage door buttons and dome lights up top. And then here's a look at visibility from the driver's seat with the large windows for this smaller coupe. Even over this left side, it's very easy to see. As we sat up behind the wheel for the BMW M2, we get to drive these a lot, but this is a first with not only the suspension, but also the front carbon fiber trim accent. Both of those are about $3,000 each, and of course we have other options that I have been able to see and review with other cars. So let's start off with the suspension, since this is a first for me. I've put a few miles on this just to somewhat experience it a little bit, but I have a lot of experience with lowered vehicles and suspensions that ride like this. So in my opinion, for this quick test drive, to me this feels a lot like my Audi R8, which I put a new set of coilovers on, I lowered it, and I gave it a little bit of a stiffer feel to get more of that performance vibe. And you can definitely feel bumps with this suspension. So if you are not looking for a ride like this, obviously you don't have to spec it that way. But personally, if you want a suspension like this and it's not something you're looking to do afterwards, you want it as a part of the car, again, BMW has a lot of nice options that you can spec. You can also go with the M Performance exhaust, which is about $3,000 as well if you want that active exhaust system for this car, which I have been able to check out on some other models. So you have a lot of cool sporty and performance characteristics that are very functional with this M2 in general. And so with the suspension, it's also going to make it handle slightly better since the vehicle is lowered, and there's some adjustments to it as well. So just depending on if you're doing some more track driving, you're doing some more performance driving, you can dial in the suspension to your liking and the driving style that you are doing. So I think that is a really cool factory option to have for this car. And honestly, I would daily drive this with this suspension. It feels similar to my Audi R8, and I have no complaints. It's a little bit on the harsher side, but I like the feel. I like that it just makes you feel a little cooler, you know, in a race car, but it's also functional as well. So depending on the driving that you are doing, it is definitely nice. Now with this 8-speed automatic, we do have more torque. I recently drove a manual M2, which is detuned slightly for the manual as far as the torque goes, which is interesting. And you still have the adjustments for the transmission. So on the back side of the shifter here, depending on how you want the car to react, I've mentioned this in a lot of M cars with the automatics. You get so much character from this automatic that it almost makes it as much fun as a manual. I personally love manual cars. My R8 is a manual, but it's hard to argue with this automatic. You have that same feel. It's very cool to be able to go through these and set it up to your driving. So you could have it very smooth for daily driving, or you could have those crisp shifts for performance driving. And in Sport Plus second gear, here we go. And if you could tell, there was a little bit of a lurch there because with the quickest shifts, I wasn't giving it full throttle. So if, again, depending on your driving, I could tone that down a little bit for the slower speeds that I'm going and make it more comfortable. So again, really neat to see how many ways you can adjust this vehicle and just the character that it gives you. So this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the M2, and it's definitely a fun vehicle. As we get up to speed there, we have those quick shifts, and it's very comfortable too. Even with this suspension, I don't have any complaints with that. I will say, for the price of this vehicle, the dash has the plastic there. If you go with the M4, I believe that is when you can spec it with the extended leather. I don't think you can get that in the M2. So just a quick comparison, if you want a little bit more luxury, you can go up to the M4, which of course will cost a little bit more. So it's interesting that I don't believe you can do that with the M2. Aside from that, the rest of the materials are very nice. And then I didn't talk about headroom with the carbon fiber roof here at 5'10". I have about 2 inches or so of headroom, and the seat can go down a lot more. So now I have maybe 3.5. So you can be taller than me and still fit comfortably in this, or that allows you extra headspace to put on a helmet. So if you're doing some performance style driving, you have enough room to do that. You can also get a sunroof if you don't want the carbon fiber roof. The sunroof is a no-cost option versus upgrading to the carbon fiber roof. Personally, I would go with the roof. I hardly ever open the sunroof in my personal vehicle. And then as far as turning radius goes, we do have a tight steering wheel and feel, but we were easily able to do that. And then let's put it into the normal automatic mode, where the shifts will change again with the backside here. So it's nice that the vehicle will adapt to your driving style rather than having to use the paddles too. So again, you have two different ways that you can drive this, and that is a really nice feel. But the M2 has so many different ways that you can spec this. You can go with the manual, like I briefly mentioned earlier, and you have even the carbon fiber bucket seats that you can add to this. There are so many ways that you can configure it depending on your likes, your style. You have a lot of different exterior paint options too. So it's a fantastic performance vehicle for the price and for what you're getting, and you have a lot of ways to cater it to your needs. The only thing I will say, going back to the dash, that's pretty much the only thing that I don't like. I don't think you can get that extended leather. Everything else, I don't have any issues with. I would personally probably go with the M4, but the M2 here is a great vehicle. A lot of people enjoy this. There's a lot of tuning potential, a lot of modifications that you can do to this if factory power just isn't enough for you. So it's pretty awesome to see the support from BMW, and of course all their standard options too that you can go with as well. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2026 M2. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.